Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at where next week 10 days for today's video. It's going to take us pretty much through the first 10 days of May because we've arrived at the last day of April. What a funny month it's been because it's actually been quite a warm month compared to average down across central England. Anyway, the CET is still holding up quite well. Although it's felt quite chilly and gloomy at times, I have to say, and today it really is very cold in that northerly wind down in the southeast. We've only got maximums of 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, and it's pouring with rain in the southeast as well. So pretty grim for the southeast, but improvements are on the way. We've been talking about this quite a bit in the videos just recently. High pressure will be building in through this week, over weekend, and probably lasting into next week as well. So we should have some significantly drier and warmer weather coming up. We're going to start off looking at this rain, though. I thought that's gone a little bit wrong today, although we was seeing signs of this yesterday, actually, when we did the Gazzo Sunny Roundup. There's only really one model that was bringing this rain in across most of England and Wales. Many of the models were restricting it to the southeast when we did the Sunny Roundup. So we could see that the model output was shifting in that direction, and that's what's happened. So through this morning, the rain has been in the southeast. We'll start off with a radar picture from the weather outlook. So we've got this massive, heavy, in places quite torrential rain across East Anglia and down into the far southeast of England. So it's sort of from kind of like Southampton, Brighton, going up towards, let's say, East Anglia, somewhere like Cromer. And in that zone, generally a little bit to the east of Cambridge and almost to the east of London, although some parts of London are under this wet weather as well. But in that zone, it really is very, very wet indeed. The rain's been pouring down all morning, torrential rain, giving 25 millimetres, perhaps in some places, maybe a little bit more in a few areas as well, and a really cold northerly wind mixed in with this too. But you'll notice, away from that specific southeastern corner, most parts of the country are actually having a dry day. It's beginning to brighten up as well a little bit more than was the case over the past few days. This is the latest observations from xcweather.co.uk. So it's a pretty chilly day wherever you are. The highest temperature is actually in the north and the northwest. So Tulloch Bridge, for example, in Scotland is at 11 degrees Celsius and coming down into Northern Ireland. Belfast is 11 degrees Celsius too. Down across South Wales, Mumbles is at 11, and so onto the southwestern coast, Chivenna is at 10 degrees Celsius. But come over towards the Midlands, it gets a lot colder. So, for example, going to Church Lawford, we're just at 8 degrees Celsius, Wittering at 9, and then we come further south, it gets colder still, so Luton is at 7, but the coldest temperatures are right down in the far southeastern corner. 5 degrees are maximum at Biggin Hill, and it'll be pouring with rain, as we've already seen down there. Gravesend at just 6 degrees Celsius, and going over to a few other weather stations, we find Manston at 6 degrees Celsius, pouring with rain, a strong to gale force almost northeasterly wind driving that rain in. Very, very grim down in the southeast, to say the least. And bear in mind, those maximum temperatures of just 5 or 6 degrees Celsius is on the final day of April, so really cold in the southeast and very wet and grim as well. However, improvements are on the way, so we'll have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University website next. We've got the ECDF here on the top, and the GFS, which we'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 8,000 feet is an area in the absolute high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, and yellow, orange and red to high pressure. Takes us through the first week to 10 days of May, and you can see that the below average heights, below pressure, are being shoved off up to the north, along with the jet stream. The black lines there indicating where the jet stream is. That's going up to the north of the UK, and then underneath that trough that's up to the northwest of the UK, we've got this ridge building across the UK and much of Central Europe too. So on the warm side of the jet stream, we'll be bringing up much warmer air from a southerly to southwesterly direction, and with the high pressure dominating will be a lot of dry weather in with that as well. The GFS is very similar. So again, we've got the below average heights way to our north, and the jet stream is going up there as well. So we're going on to the warm side of the jet. We've got this large area of red and orange sitting over just to the east of the UK. That will be bringing a lot of dry and pretty warm weather with it as well. So the opening sort of 10 days of May looking really good from what we can see at the moment. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, we've got the red line here, which is the 30-year upper air temperature average. And this is where we are right now. We are colder than average, quite substantially so right now. But from today onwards, basically, the temperature is on the up, although we do get a little bit of a dip just there on Wednesday. But after that, the temperature's really lifting up. So at the end of the week and into weekend, we're going significantly warmer than average with the upper air temperatures in Birmingham. Much warmer spell coming up. And we keep those temperatures above average generally into the second week of May as well, although dropping down to closer to average, but still generally on the warmer than average side. As far as precipitation is concerned, so we have got some wet weather coming up on Wednesday. Once that's out of the way, we have an extended period of dry weather that lasts from the end of the week and goes right way through into bank holiday weekend. The second week of May, possibly turning a little bit more unsettled, some rainfall spikes coming back then, but bear in mind that's at the extended range of the model and of the ensemble, so it is quite unreliable. This is how the service temperatures are looking for Birmingham. So again, we're starting off at a very cold note really for the end of April. We're at 10 degrees just there, 20 degrees is just there, and freezing, 0 degrees is down there. And we are around or under 10 degrees Celsius with our maximums for today. And only very slowly do we start to lift those temperatures up into the second half of the week. But then they start to accelerate over the weekend and into next week. So by the end of the weekend and going into next week, we're probably looking at least a couple of days with temperatures at or maybe a little bit above 20 degrees Celsius in Birmingham. So much warmer conditions coming up. It'll be warmer than that, of course, in the southeast. So much warmer conditions coming up over the bank holiday weekend and also going into start of next week as well. Probably doesn't last all that long, and then we see the temperatures beginning to slide away again through the second week of May. But again, not going anywhere near down to the level we're at the moment, just sliding down into the sort of the mid-teens Celsius, which is around average for Birmingham for the second week of May. So we start off really cool to actually cold at the moment. We turn much warmer at the end of the week and into the bank holiday weekend. That lasts for 2 or 3 days, and then we see the temperatures beginning to slide back closer to average, but still, because it's May, still quite warm as we go into the second week of May. So overall, looking pretty good from a temperature perspective. Temperature anomalies for the weekend looking like that. So this is taking us from the 30th of April to the 8th of May, coming out a little bit warmer than average in the north. Perhaps still a little bit cooler than average for England and Wales, and that's primarily because it's factoring in today's cold temperatures. Once today's out of the way, I would expect to see these charts going warmer than average through the remainder of the week. So we'll look at these again tomorrow. I would expect to see the UK much more red coloured compared to what we see today. Notice most of France, Spain and Portugal coming out cooler or colder than average, but real warmer than average anomalies are over in the east of Europe. And precipitation anomalies are looking like that, going from the 30th of April through to the 8th of May. So you can see where the wet weather is for this week ahead anomaly, and all of this really is down to today for this southeastern corner. Many central and northern parts of the country actually coming out with a drier than average precipitation anomaly for the week, and that's even factoring in some wet weather that will be pushing across the UK late on Tuesday and into Wednesday as well. Overall, these are going to trend warmer and drier, these anomaly charts, over the next sort of couple of days or so. Right, GFS is looking like that on Thursday. So that's the little area of low pressure I talked about, going to bring us a wetter spell through the middle part of the week. That's just clearing into the North Sea as we go into Thursday. And then once that gets out of the way, then we start to build this ridge up. Two ridges, actually. We've got a ridge extending in from the Azores High, so a nice extension coming up from the southwest. We've also got a ridge building over Scandinavia. They're trying to get together and form a big area of high pressure almost over top of the UK. And the upshot with that is that the jet stream is being shoved off up there where the black line is, and of course this is all low pressure, and that's been pinned in to our north as well. That takes us through into Saturday, when again the high pressure is ridging through the country, so increasing size of high pressure building over the bank holiday weekend. That Sunday, nice ridge developing. Its centre is actually a little bit to our east, which is a good position really, because it means we'll be bringing in the air from off the continent rapidly warming up in any sunshine, of course, at this time of the year. So I think we're going to see temperatures up to the low 20s at least through many parts of the country over this weekend. It's a little bit slack, so we may, just purely because of the heat that's going to be building over the weekend up to the low, possibly just about mid-20s Celsius, we might spark off one or two heavy thundery showers, but I suspect they'll be quite well scattered. A little bit of a change on Monday. Bank Holiday Monday will bring a weather front through the country. It's coming through a ridge, so it's going to be very inactive, but it probably brings an increase in cloud and also a slight drop in temperature on Bank Holiday Monday, because the air is actually starting to come more from a northwesterly direction behind that front. But still, broadly high pressure is in control, so I wouldn't be expecting too much in the way of wet weather. And then that high pressure actually starts to re-establish itself as we go just beyond Bank Holiday Monday, bringing more dry weather through the early part of next week. As we get up towards day 10, this is a long way off, but just up to day 10, takes us to Thursday the 10th of May. We're possibly seeing signs that weather's turning more unsettled there, so maybe some showers or longer spells of rain beginning to come in from off the Atlantic. So turning a bit more unsettled through this second week of May for a time, but then the GFS, look at this, wants to take us back to high pressure again, and a lot of dry and warm weather will then take us up to the middle part of the month. As far as we can go with the GFS at the moment is to Wednesday the 16th of May, when again perhaps it's turning a bit cooler, but still largely high pressure and cyclonic influences are in control. So this could be shaping up to be really quite a nice first half to May, with a lot of dry and quite warm weather as a result. Then we've got the East End air finally, so that's how things are looking on Thursday. So we're getting rid of that area of low pressure. It brings us some rain through the middle part of the week. That's in the North Sea as we go into Thursday, with the air coming in from off the Atlantic. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Telephone interaction. I really will have to start unplugging the phone if I do these recordings, I think. So, we're just finishing off with the ECMWF model for Thursday. So, as I was saying, we get rid of this area of low pressure. It's going to bring us a wetter spell through the middle part of the week. On Thursday, that moves off into the North Sea, and then it's after that the high pressure begins to build from the southwest. This is Friday. The extension from the Azores High is beginning to move into the south, bringing a good deal of dry and increasingly bright weather down there. Will still be a little bit more changeable up in the north, but even there over the weekend, high pressure is asserting its authority. So by the time you get through to Sunday, basically high pressure is in charge of the weather. The jet stream, again indicated by the black line, that's being shoved off up to there. Low pressure is going up to the north of us with the jet stream, and we find ourselves underneath this ridge of high pressure that brings us plenty of dry and warm weather, and that continues into Bank Holiday Monday as well. That's how things are looking as we go through to Tuesday next week. Again, a lot of high pressure influences still in control, and not really cooling down as much over Bank Holiday Monday as it does on the GFS either. So it's still really quite warm air that we've got going there as we go through to the early part of next week. And then it breaks down through the middle part of next week. Low pressure starts heading off the Atlantic, brings cloud and rain as we get to day 10. Which is Thursday the 10th of May. Looks rather more unsettled with, well, there's a weather front in this sort of position that is bringing cloud and outbreaks of rain across the country, and then cooler air is following from the north and the west. We know that the GFS did that same sort of scenario as well. But quite quickly after that, it actually GFS actually re-established the high pressure again as we went up towards the middle part of May. So potentially we're looking at really quite a decent first half to May, with a lot of dry and quite warm weather to come perhaps through the first couple of weeks of May. Yes, some interruptions at times for more unsettled and cooler conditions, but essentially I think the first half of May is shaping up to be really quite decent. So for once we have some good news for you in that it does look as though the first half of May will bring us a lot of dry and fairly warm weather as well. We'll continue to monitor over the next few days and see how it all plays out. Of course, the main focus is still on the weather at the end of the week and over Bank Holiday weekend, which does look like a very nice spell of weather, I have to say. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.